Hi, I'm Trace. We're going to do a Narcotics Anonymous video meeting. Um, I don't know where you are at in your journey of sobriety, but I can give you parts of the stories of my journey in sobriety, and maybe parts of that will uh, give you some reflection into your own journey. Uh, I've been sober almost 24 years, um, since January 2002. So, January of 2026, I will be 24 years sober. Um, every day I use the teachings in Narcotics Anonymous uh, to continue my journey. Nobody wants to relapse. You know, you, people that I talk to that know my story, they're all, you've been sober for so long. Why do you still continue this? And the reality is, when you are a drug addict, um, you're a drug addict for life. No matter where you got sober, no matter where you are in your um, sobriety journey, um, I may be 24 years sober, but I'm still a drug addict, and that's why I continue to work Narcotics Anonymous. Now, for the people that are court ordered or whatever, they get in trouble and they seek out Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, or whatever it is, uh, as a condition of their probation, parole, whatever. Um, that situation can be very complicated if you are living with other family members who are not sober, who are users, or if you have to work with coworkers who drink or use drugs and they're not sober. Um, the focus of your journey in sobriety has to be on you. So in my case, I was very fortunate because I did get in trouble. I was in jail, and they they came to me and offered me, we would like to send you to Harmony Treatment Center for a 28-day rehabilitation program. And I was in jail at the time. I just thought, well, anything to get out of here. Yeah, let's go. Well, what I didn't know was once I got there, I really enjoyed it and I just ran with it. And I've been sober ever since. But for people that, let's say they weren't as fortunate as I was. Let's say they get out of jail, they bond out or whatever, or even if they go into recovery, into a rehabilitation program, and let's say once the rehabilitation program ends and they have to go home, and they go home with family members that are still drinking or still using. To me, that's a setup for failure because uh, part of my program was after I went through rehabilitation was I had to abstain from all my friends that I had for all the years that I was using drugs. I had to completely abstain from them and not be around anybody that used, uh, just because I was in such a vulnerable state in the beginning of my sobriety journey. So, um, if you go through rehabilitation and you come home and you have to commingle or live with, it doesn't even have to be family members, just somebody that is not sober, or let's say they're not an alcoholic or a drug addict. Let's just say they like to drink. There is a difference from alcoholics and people who like to drink. People who like to drink who are not addicts can go to bars, they can socialize and drink and whatever, and it'll never be a problem for them because they don't have an addictive personality. They're not an addict. Okay, they're not an alcoholic. Uh, it's just one of those things where if someone is recently in rehabilitation and sobriety, and then they have to be put back in a situation where they're around coworkers, acquaintances, or family members who casually drink. They go to the bar. Hey, we're going to the bar. You want to come with us? That is an especially dangerous situation for someone new in the sobriety journey. So I can't give advice or much reflection on that, on how to or what to do or suggestions, because that is that person's going to have to, you know, fight that battle and hopefully abstain from using whatever their drug of choice was or alcohol if they're in a situation where there's people who casually drink or go to the bars or whatever. So I can't really give much of a talk on that because I was fortunate when I came back. I had people around me who were clean, not drinkers, all that. So you know, that I think was a big part of keeping me sober. So enough of that. But anyways, the day to day, I'm 24 years, almost 24 years sober, but every day I use Narcotics Anonymous. I don't necessarily follow the 12-step programs. Nobody says you have to. And Alcoholics Anonymous also has a 12-step program. It doesn't matter if you're in a 12-step program or not. What matters is that you are in Alcoholics Anonymous or you are in Narcotics Anonymous for the journey of sobriety. So my day-to-day is I never want to relapse. So I don't put myself around anybody that uses drugs, like when I was using drugs. But I do have many friends who drink socially, and they're not alcoholics, but they drink on a regular basis. Alcohol was never my trigger. I've never tried alcohol. I don't even know what it means to be drunk, but that is a separate thing for me. I can be around someone who is drinking a beer or whatever, and everything's just fine. What I cannot do is be around somebody who is using drugs of any kind. So that's where my line is on who I choose to be around. Now, a big part of my journey, right after I got out of treatment, September of 2002, I met my current wife, Sabrina, and the first night that we met, I met her, and she had a beer in her hand because she was a social drinker. She was out with friends, whatever, and she drank. And I started telling her my story, and I'm a drug addict, and I just got out of rehab, and I'm on probation, and I gotta be really careful. I can't be around people who use or, all this and that. And you know what she told me? She said, "Oh, okay." So we went over to the trash, and she threw her bottle of beer away. And I said, "What did you do that for?" She said, "I don't need a drink. I won't drink around you." And I'm like, wow. Somebody that can do that is not an alcoholic, is not an addict, because it doesn't have any control over them. They can choose to use it or not. And she was one of those people who just chose not to drink anymore because of my situation. And I think that was a big help for me to have her around in the early years of my beginning of my sobriety journey. So that's really good. for those that don't have that, the meetings where you actually go in and you are in a group of Alcoholics Anonymous people or Narcotics Anonymous people, and you go to a group, the 45-minute meetings. If you can do that weekly, I think that is good. They all have weekly meetings, and they all have them on different days to accommodate people's schedules. You just have to research where they are and then go to those meetings. If you go at it alone, like I did, it's important that every day you start by saying, I'm a drug addict, and I need to make sure that just for today, I am sober. So I'm going to stay sober today. I've got work to do. I got things going on. But first, I'm up. I'm ready. I'm having my breakfast and whatever. And I'm a drug addict, so I need to make sure I'm not around people that use. I need to make sure that I'm progressing through my sobriety journey on my terms, and as long as I'm sober and not using, everything else will fall into place. So that's first as far as my daily Narcotics Anonymous journey. So after that, then you go about your day, you do your work, whatever, and then the downtime is especially a little bit dangerous in as far as in my case, my circumstances. I found that when the day was over, work's done, and you've had dinner or whatever, and you're relaxing before bedtime, the relaxing part where people fall into watching TV for hours and hours and hours. Knowing that I'm an addict, I have an addictive personality, I had to break certain cycles. And the downtime, when you're winding down and you don't have anything to do and boredom sets in, well, back when I was an active drug user, when boredom was set in, I would use. So that's especially an area of your sobriety journey that you need to be aware of, that when you have downtime, when you don't have anything to do not entertain thoughts of using and breaking your streak of sobriety. So that would be my message for this little clip, this 15-minute Narcotics Anonymous meeting. If you have questions or comments about the things that I talked about in this video, any of the comments that are on this feed on YouTube, I will answer them the best I can. I don't tell people I have advice to give. I tell people I'll help if there's something I can say about my journey that helps you, or if you have questions about my journey, I'll try to answer those. So just for today, Narcotics Anonymous, I'm staying sober. I've been sober 23 years, 10 months, and it's just wonderful. It's all thanks to our Lord and Jesus Christ. And Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous doesn't have to be about religion. But in my case, what the Lord and Jesus has done for me, I wouldn't have anything. I wouldn't have sobriety. I wouldn't have anything in my life without God and Jesus first. So I hope that helps everybody. Just for today, we're staying sober.